Okay, well, it's 1 minute past 10, so let's make a start. Lovely to see so many people here this morning. Good morning, and welcome to this pension session for Pension Awareness Week 2025. Today, the title of this webinar is Understanding Your Annual Benefit Statement. My name is Rebecca O'Shea, and I work for Oxfordshire Pension Fund. And I'm accompanied today by my colleague Anna Lloyd, who also works for Oxfordshire Pension Fund. I am doing this presentation on behalf of Clwyd, Shropshire and Oxfordshire Pension Funds. So I expect there's people from all three of those on the call today. A little bit of housekeeping first. All your cameras and microphones are turned off because there's a lot of you here. So please ask any questions in the Q&A facility at the top of your page. Any that we don't get to or answer today will be answered in an FAQ document after the event. If you do put anything in the Q&A section, please don't ask questions about your own personal circumstances or give any personal data within your question. Anything of this type, you should direct straight to your own pension fund, and we'll be sharing the contact details at the end of the presentation. This presentation is being recorded and it will be available on your pension fund's video sharing platform at the end of Pensions Awareness Week. And we don't expect to keep you for the full 45 minutes that you have in your diary. It'll probably be a little bit shorter than that. Okay, so let's start with a little poll to see who you are and what you know about the LGPS. So your names won't be recorded, you can probably see that. But first of all, if you could indicate which LGPS pension fund you're a current member of. And when you've answered that, and there'll be another question. If you had to score your own LGPS knowledge now, what score would you give yourself? Where 1 is very bad knowledge and 5 is very good knowledge. Just give you a couple of minutes to, not minutes, but we'll just give you a moment to answer that. Okay. Thank you very much to those of you who've answered. Let's get started. So the session we are doing today is Understanding Your LGPS Annual Benefit Statement. So your annual statement is an annual update, obviously, on how your pension is growing. As an active member, which I think most of you probably are, you should receive one by the 31st of August every year. So hopefully you've all received this year's, and maybe you even have it in front of you as we speak now. This statement gives you a snapshot of your pension as at the previous 31st of March. So for this year, a snapshot as at the 31st of March 2025. Your statement will give you a vast amount of information about your LGPS benefits and may feel quite overwhelming when you open and look at it. This is because there's a lot of info that we are legally obliged to give you. Obviously, we would love it if you read all the small print that we spend hours writing for you, but if you're not a pensions person, there are some key areas that we would suggest you look at. And these main areas are the focus of this presentation. So these key areas are, firstly, the statement provides you with the current value of your benefits, and it also provides you with a projection of your pension to your normal pension age. It provides estimates of the death grant and partner's pension that would be paid if you die as an active member. And finally, it will remind you to keep your expression of wish death grant up to date. So let's look at the detail of these items. Your pension fund must give you an annual benefit statement every year, and they must provide this statement by the 31st of August to every active and every deferred member. An active member is someone who is currently employed and contributing to the LGPS. You can see this on your payslip if you are contributing. And a deferred person is someone who was in the LGPS but has now left that employment. Your fund do not need to give you a statement if you're a pensioner and you're receiving a pension from the LGPS. So what should you do first? It's important to check your statement each year to make sure that everything is going to plan and also that it is correct, particularly if you've had changes during the year to your employment and different situations. Your statement may be available on the pension portal provided by your fund, or maybe you receive it in paper format by post to your home. If you're not sure how you receive your pension, head to your fund website or drop your fund a message and they will be able to tell you where to find it. So you have your benefit statement in front of you. There's a lot of words and it looks kind of scary. What should you do with it? We suggest that you check your pay and personal details first, then have a look at your pension forecast. And once you've got to grips with this, have a think about how you can use your statement to aid your overall retirement planning. So let's go into more detail. Check that your personal details are correct and current. Your name, your date of birth, and your partnership status will all be listed on your statement, so check they're all correct. You will also see an indicator of whether you are in the main scheme or the 50-50 scheme. Most of you will be in the main scheme unless you have actively elected to be in the 50-50, so check that is correct also. You should also check that your pay figures look correct. The figures in your statement are based on what has been provided by your employer, and you should contact your employer if you think any details about your pay are wrong or out of date. Next on your statement, you will find a summary of your benefits as at the 31st of March. For this year, it will be the 31st of March 2025. This is a snapshot value of your pension benefits as at that date. The projection of how much that will be worth in the future is later in the statement. The LGPS is what we call a defined benefit scheme. So we do not provide you with a fund value, which you may see on other pension statements that you receive, because public sector schemes don't work in the same way as most workplace pensions. This is all covered in the session called How Your Pension is Calculated. So if what I've just said is news to you, you might want to register for that session. I think the next session on that is on Thursday afternoon. So we do not provide you with a fund value. We provide you with an indication of what your actual pension will look like. This pension will include your final salary pension, which is any pension that you built up before the 31st of March 2014, and your care pension, which is the pension that you've built up since the 1st of April 2014. So these two elements, the final salary and the care pensions, are added together and paid together when you take your benefits. By looking at this figure, you can see how much pension you've built up so far, and by comparing it with previous year's statements, how much your pension has increased since last year. Your pension can be paid unreduced at your normal pension age once you've left your job. Okay, so that is the pension as at the 31st of March 2025. If you were in the scheme before April 2008, you will also see an automatic lump sum at retirement on your statement. If you are not a member before April 2008, this will show as 0. Everybody can take a lump sum, but if you are not in the scheme before April 08, you have to exchange part of your pension to get the lump sum, either to increase the lump sum you already have or give you a lump sum if you don't have one. For every £1 of annual pension you give up, you get a lump sum of £12. So £10 per annum taken off your pension will give you £120 tax-free cash. £100 taken off your annual pension will give you £1,200 tax-free cash, and so on, up to the maximum allowed by His Majesty's Revenue and Customs, which you will also know as HMRC. Depending on which pension fund you're a member of, you may be shown what effect this can have on your pension. So you may be shown a maximum lump sum option, which will show the maximum lump sum you can take, and the effect this would have on reducing your pension. Under the current rules, your entire lump sum on retirement is paid straight into your bank account, tax-free, but HMRC limits do apply. Okay, arguably, the most useful part of your benefit statement is the projection of your pension to your normal pension age. This will be in the same format as the statement of 31st of March. For active members, it shows what pension you can expect to have built up by your normal pension age if you stay in the LGPS and your working situation remains roughly the same until your normal pension age. Your normal pension age is linked to your state pension age and is the earliest date that you can take your entire pension without any reduction for early payment. If you retire before your normal pension age, some or all of your pension will be reduced for early payment. If you've looked at the amount in this projection and decided that that's not going to be enough for you to live on in retirement, there are further steps you can take, and we will talk about these later in the session. Moving on now, you will also see on your statement the lump sum that would be available to your beneficiaries if you die while you're an active member of the LGPS. If you are an active member, which I imagine most of you are, this amount is 3 times your pensionable pay. For most people, pensionable pay is your actual pay. So if you are part-time, it would be 3 times your part-time pay. If you have multiple pension records, so if you have an active and deferred, or if you have 2 active records, different rules may apply about how much lump sum will be payable on your death. And you need to contact your own fund to find out more about your own circumstances if this is the case. As well as a lump sum payable on your death, there is also a pension payable to your partner if you have one, and this will also appear on your benefit statement. This survivor's or partner's pension is payable to a husband or wife, a civil partner, or an eligible cohabiting partner. No partner's pension is payable if you are single and are not survived by a partner at the date of your death. There may also be a pension payable if you have eligible children, but this is not shown on your benefit statement. Even if we don't have the correct partnership status recorded for you on our records, if the worst happens and you do die, we will still pay the pension to your partner, assuming they can produce the correct evidence. This is very straightforward for husbands, wives, and civil partners. They must produce the marriage or civil partnership certificate. For a cohabiting partner, the requirements for evidence are slightly more complex. Your partner will have to produce evidence proving that you've been cohabiting for at least 2 years, that you are both free to marry, should you wish to do so, and that there is a financial dependency or interdependency between you. Please check your fund's website if you have a cohabiting partner and you would like more information about what evidence will be required. Okay, the last bit we're going to cover is your expression of wish details, sometimes called your nomination. This section on your benefit statement shows who you have nominated to receive your lump sum death payment if you die. If this section is blank, you should update your details through your online pension portal or request a form from your pensions team, because it's really important to have this populated. You can nominate whoever you like to receive your lump sum. They don't have to be related to you. They don't have to be financially dependent on you. You can even nominate a charity if that is your preference. However, it is not legally binding, and the fund will make the final decision as to who receives your lump sum if you die. Because your pension does not form part of your estate, it is the fund and not your executors who make the final decision, and they will use this expression of wish form as guidance. Having said that, the fund will usually follow your wishes unless there's a good reason not to, like if your circumstances have changed. For example, if you have named an ex-spouse on your nomination form but later remarried. And in those kinds of circumstances, the fund may make their own decision rather than following your nomination. The pension fund needs that flexibility to make sure they make fair decisions. So if your form is outdated or doesn't reflect your current family situation, the fund may choose to distribute benefits differently to support your dependents. It's really important to keep it up to date. Don't forget, the lump sum death benefit is separate from the partner's and children's pension payable. This will always go to your eligible partner or child, whoever you have written on the nomination to receive your lump sum. So those are the main areas that we would expect you to look at on your benefit statement, just to make sure your pension is progressing as you would like. So maybe you've looked at your pension benefit statement and the amount in the projection to retirement and decided that it's not going to be enough for you to live on in retirement. What further steps can you take? First of all, we would suggest you head to gov.uk, the first link on the slide, to check what your state pension is currently looking like. Sorry. The full state pension is currently in the region of £230 per week, which is close to £12,000 per annum. So that's the full state pension. This may not be enough on its own, but alongside your LGPS benefits, your state pension may significantly boost your retirement income without you even thinking about it. So do go and have a look, see how your state pension is building up. Another thing you can do to help plan is go and look at the retirement living standards. These have been developed to help individuals and pension scheme members picture what kind of lifestyle they could have in retirement and how much that kind of lifestyle would cost. The figures on this website show how much someone may spend at retirement across 3 different living standards and are really useful to help you picture where you might want to be when you retire. Finally, you may be in a position to consider paying extra pension contributions now to boost your income in retirement. There are 2 ways you can pay extra contributions in the LGPS. You can pay additional pension contributions, additional voluntary contributions, or both. You can also pay extra outside of the LGPS to increase your income. Have a look at the 3rd link for more information about paying extra and see if there's something that you would like to do there. Finally, on this slide, the pension dashboard is coming soon. This is a cross-industry initiative which will hopefully allow you to see all of your pensions in one place. So keep an eye on your fund's website, keep an eye on any newsletters you get from your fund for more information about the dashboard and when it is going to be rolled out. Okay, so this is my final slide. Thank you all very much for coming along. I hope this has been helpful and will enable you to look at your benefit statement in a slightly clearer light. This last slide gives details of the National LGPS member website, which is packed full of FAQs, calculators, videos, and loads more information, all suitable for pension beginners. I've also put on this slide the contact details for Clwyd, Oxfordshire and Shropshire pension funds, so make sure you contact the right pension fund. And thank you for submitting all of your questions. Just to let you know, the answers to your questions and the video of this presentation will be available on your fund website next week. And I hope this presentation has helped your understanding a little or a lot. We've got a couple of poll questions at the end, just to let us know. First of all, if you had to score your own LGPS knowledge now you've attended the webinar, what score would you give yourself, where 1 is very bad still and 5 is very good? And secondly, would you recommend these webinars to your colleagues? Yes or no, or don't know? Okay, I'll just give you a moment to answer those poll questions. Now I'm just going to hand over to Anna. Anna, are there any questions in the Q&A that we can pick up now?
I've picked up a couple of them, Becky. So someone's asked, I have an old deferred pension and a current one. Is the deferred pension included in my statement? So for you generally would receive two different statements for your deferred pension and your active pension. So your current pension that you're paying into, you'll get a separate statement. It's a bit different sometimes. If you log into your portal, your fund may add them together if you're looking at it online, but you will get a separate statement for each record you have in the LGPS. A second plug for the pensions portals on your fund websites. Someone's asked, is the maximum lump sum 25% of the fund value? And the answer is broadly yes, but you should be able to access an estimator or a projector on your portal that should be able to answer what your maximum lump sum will be. And those are a couple I've picked out, Becky. Oh, there's one more. Will there be a recording of other sessions? So yes, all of our sessions will be recorded, and they will be put up on the website next week, on your fund websites next week, for you to access and watch at your leisure. And I think that's it from me, Becky.
Thank you very much, everybody, for attending. I hope it's been useful.